Hey all, and welcome to the video. We're just waiting for a bus to take us into York city centre. We normally park in York, and I thought today I've brought Helen with me, and I know how she loves shops, so we've parked in the designer outlet in Fulford. I'm going to get the bus up into York, do a bit of street photography, do a bit of retail therapy, and then come back here and do some big retail therapy, and maybe have a bite to eat before we drive back to Nottingham. Street photography, I can't say I'm well practiced at it. I've probably dabbled in it, if I'm honest. If I can find what I think is my best street photography shot, I'll put it up now. But no, not well practiced at it at all. And today I was only going to bring one lens, and then I thought about York itself, and we've got narrow streets in the city centre, so I thought I really need wide angle for that. Then we're probably going to have some distant opportunities, so I've bought the 100 to 400mm for that, and then we've got everything in between, so I've bought the 24 to 70, so I've ended up bringing all three lenses just for fun. Handheld today, no tripod, not in a city. At night maybe, but not in the day. And camera settings are going to be manual, auto ISO. I don't want to have to think about settings too much because I want to concentrate on what's in front of me, what's happening. So for me, street photography is reacting to events that are happening in front of you, that may involve people or animals. And the only thing I avoid photographing, like many street photographers, is children on their own. If they're within a family scene, then I think that's okay, but not to individually photograph children for obvious reasons. So that's it. So we'll just wait for this bus. It's very early. Well, it's just gone past 8 o'clock. So at this time of the morning, the city should be fairly quiet, and we'll start to see the build-up of people. York is very much a tourist attraction, a tourist city, so I would imagine by 10, 11 o'clock it's going to look very busy with people, and that may or may not give us opportunities for some street photography. We'll see. Let's see if I can get anything worth showing you. That's the challenge of today. So we'll wait for this bus and make our way into the city of York.
A 10-minute ride on the bus took us to the heart of the city centre, and boy was I wrong, it was busy already. The tourists were out having coffee and tea and breakfast, people were getting their businesses ready for the trading day, and yeah, my intention was to find some backdrops where people could walk into the scene. So I started with a 24 to 70 lens for the first shot, and pointed down an alleyway to capture people walking across the scene. So the first shot is people walking across the scene in this alleyway. Next I came across this character who was just standing, pondering, looking towards a shop, deciding if he was going to go in and buy something, I think. So his next move was to step up and go inside the shop and make a purchase. The shops in York are so quirky, and the window displays are, yeah, above exceptional. Armed now with the 100 to 400mm attached to the Nikon D850, I was now going to home in on situations that I saw in the distance. This young lady was doing the first job of the day, which was a quick sweep. We went round the little York market, which was very quaint. I bought Helen a handbag, and these two market traders were discussing how they were going to spend the profits from that sale. This gentleman caught my eye sitting in the doorway, and in particular his hand reflecting in the glass, and he was very expressive with his conversation on his mobile phone. Peace, we'd all like a little bit of peace, and this lady was standing there on the barriers with her eyes closed, and I thought, she's having a moment with peace. So the police in York have a very strange summer uniform. So here's an officer dealing with a car parking situation. Yeah, you cannot park there. It was getting to that time of the day where everybody was getting hungry, including me, and this gentleman was having something to eat, but he was distracted by one of life's big distractions, the mobile phone. So in this scene, I was trying to get somebody walking from right to left, following the sign to the shambles. I didn't get anybody, but I got this lady leaning in, which looks a bit strange. Another alleyway shot, the same one actually, and this young lady at the bottom put her hand over her face, so she was, it was a cover-up. In this scene, we're starting to get busy down the street, but a space appeared, so we had a space in the crowd. So these two young gentlemen have got coffee in their hands because, yeah, men need caffeine. Now this scene caught my eye. Branding, because branding does catch your eye, that's what it's designed to do. So I made it even more of a standout in the edit. So next is my attempt at reflection shots using windows to reflect the scene opposite, and quite pleased with this one, I think. Maybe the next one, I'm not too sure. These are very experimental, and I think it's very challenging to get a good reflection shot, but certainly worth a go. And another reflection shot, and in this establishment they do axe throwing, so I suppose you need to make sure you pay the bill if you eat in this establishment. Okay, I walked around the corner into this scene in front of me and immediately saw an opportunity with that window. And I moved around so the lady's face was framed in the shot, and that also framed the gentleman's face. And this was the planned crop. And I love the way the signs are spread out in the scene, and also the stare as well that the young lady was giving. I don't know what she was looking at. It was to my right, I didn't see what it was, but yeah, I really love this shot. then made our way to York Minster with a plan to go inside, because I thought there'd be some opportunities there with people marvelling at the interior of that building. The interior is just as impressive as the exterior, but they weren't letting people in, so we went back to the shambles where the crowd now had thickened out somewhat, and I thought what we'll do, we'll use the fact that we have a crowd to take some faces in the crowd. So that's what I did. I just picked out people that were walking up the shambles, coming towards me, various expressions on their faces, some happy, some not so happy. Not particularly with me, because they couldn't see I was photographing them. I was out at 400mm, but I think it was just the situation of the place being busy. It's not everybody's cup of tea to be in a busy environment like this had turned into. Okay, that was both very enjoyable and very challenging, but a really, really interesting morning. And what was interesting was trying to use the different lenses. It turns out I wasn't very successful with the 14-24. I hardly took any shots with this, and maybe that's something I need to conquer in the future, but didn't really get on with that in a street situation. The 24-70 was useful because you did find yourself in the right situation for that lens, the right distance, things was happening in front of you that you could utilize that. But the lens I enjoyed the most for street photography was the 100-400, because it just allowed me to react to things that were happening in the distance that I could just pull into and capture. Very useful for capturing the faces in the crowd, although it did struggle on focusing on that, so I might need to look at camera settings in future. But yeah, and we are going to go back. We're going to go back and do some Christmas shopping there in December, so I'll do some more street photography on that visit. It's a very, very busy city. It's probably not ideal for street photography. As that morning progressed, we were getting shoulder to shoulder with the tourists, and then it's like, what can I photograph? And we did at one point go down to the river and take a couple of shots there, and then we moved back into the streets to try and find some less busy streets, but everywhere we went was just people. So maybe I need to find cities with less tourists to go and do some street photography. So as far as shopping went, Helen got a handbag. Well, I bought Helen a handbag. This is handbag number 112 in her collection. From MacArthur Glen Outlet, I got a t-shirt, which was £17. And for me, that's, wow, £17 t-shirt. Can't go wrong. And on that note, we'll end on my favourite image, which is the stair. And I'll see you later on the next one.